We've never made a public announcement about this, but in fact, we are two Matts from Delaware, one of the US's smallest states.
We are Matt Young, born and raised. And we're now essentially Delaware's ambassadors abroad, covering this great congress, the APVRS in Hong Kong.
We needed to speak the language of ophthalmology to lean into interviews with great KOLs, innovative exhibitors, and more. APVRS 2023, it's all coming up right now. And even though my buddy from Delaware wasn't biting, there was still plenty of enthusiasm to be found around the Media Mice booth, especially with our on-site reporters rolling out our daily coverage of the event. Here's a slightly more enthusiastic Matt Herman to give us the lowdown.
APVRS 2023 in Hong Kong has really felt like a celebration for an absolutely huge year in retinal medicine. And with our show daily coverage, we've touched on some of the subspecialties' boiling hot topics. Controversies around new treatments for geographic atrophy and AMD have been impossible to ignore, and we covered that on day one. Another big one in that issue was retinal imaging, especially with everything that's going on in things like intraoperative and home OCT, OCTA, and artificial intelligence. Across both days, we've also covered the keynote named lectures, like the Tano lecture on the evolution of monovitrectomy and the Constable and Dennis Lam lectures on DR and DME. And though the show is over, the coverage doesn't stop here. We're putting out a ton of Web and Pi magazine content from APVRS in the coming weeks. One big one we're excited about is the Day 3 keynote on late-breaking clinical trial data from aflibercept 8 mg, home OCT, and geographic atrophy drug Izervay. So be sure to keep it dialed to our socials as that rolls out, and see you soon.
We also got the chance to catch up with some of the region's retinal thought leaders at our booth, including APVRS executives who shared their thoughts on the society's explosive growth and the future of retinal medicine in Asia Pacific.
Nowadays, we are not a small organization actually. We are now maybe one of the most largest visual retina society in the world. Asia Pacific region is not like United States. I think in United States, California and New York, you know, the level of the visual retina practice may be similar. But see in here, Japan, Korea, Taiwan, and maybe Bangladesh or in Myanmar, I think there's a big difference. So I think we also have the opportunity to contact with their visual retina society and try to put our resources to help them to grow together.
At this meeting here, we have 250 speakers from 40 countries, in 62 symposia. We have gotten to a point where we have realized that we need a sustainable platform to grow. It's about having a process for a broader inclusion for countries within our region, for us to network closely, and then to continue growth as we relate to other societies around the world.
I think it's very important for us because we need to look from 10 years later back now to see how we can do something for our next generation.
What's a conference without an industry innovation update? We patrolled the exhibition show floor in Hong Kong for the latest gadgets, gear, and pharma impacting the retinal world. Here's our top 3. OCT and geography was one of the most talked about topics at APVRS. And at the Impolite booth, we caught up with company CEO and co-founder Bing Li about the firm's dream OCT. Standing for deep, rapid, extensive, accurate, and multimodal, Mr. Li told us about the company's Silicon Valley roots and his team's mission to create the widest, deepest, and highest resolution ophthalmic SSOCT on the planet. The buzz at the Espansione booth was all about the company's iLight low-level light therapy technology moving backwards? In the eye, of course. Already a proven dry eye solution, new data from the Lightwave 1 trial has shown the device's potential in dry AMD. And we spoke with Chief Marketing and Innovation Officer Matteo Corbellino to get the lowdown. Of course, sometimes a little salesmanship goes a long way.
And after seeing Rep. Wolfgang Weiss's levitation act at the Brahmaba booth, we just had to stop by. It turns out it wasn't magic after all, just the industrial-grade hydraulics under the hood of the firm's ergonomic ophthalmic surgical beds. For our APVRS highlight session, it was all about the latest in diabetic retinopathy. With global diabetes rates increasing at a blistering pace, vitreoretinal specialists need to be in the loop with DR. So we sent our coverage team over to check out what's cracking. Anti-VEGF drugs get top billing in any discussion of the disease, and this session was no different. From novel agents in diabetic macular ischemia and DME to anti-VEGF non-responders, there was something for everyone. Professor Judy Kim added her own voice to the chorus with enlightenment on proliferative DR treatment with PRP and anti-VEGF therapy, including when and how to employ each to maximize patient outcomes. And Dr. Anna Tan overviewed the new imaging landscape. With so many options, OMDs are spoiled for choice. But what to use when? Dr. Tan addressed these questions and more as she took delegates through the finer points of OCT angiography, wide-field fundus photography, and others. The recent FDA approvals for first-in-class geographic atrophy drugs Syfovre and Izervay had everyone talking, and not without controversy. So we hit the show floor to cut through the noise for candid opinions from some top regional voices. We bumped into APVRS Secretary General Professor Andrew Chang, who expressed a positive outlook on the future of GA treatment. "This is only the beginning," he said. "I see it as full of potential. And once you've got a delivery system, the burden of treatment falls away." Professor Chang also believes the next year will tell a new story for GA, as doctors revise the way that they analyze the disease and its progression. And though the drugs are far from a cure, he sees their accompanying quality of life improvement as being non-negligible. But not everyone is on board, and Dr. Nicholas Fung struck a more skeptical tone when he spoke to us. Efficacy aside, he joined his voice to the growing chorus of ophthalmologists unconvinced by the number of injections needed and the drug's duration of effect. GA is a lifelong disease, said Dr. Fung, and the frequency with which patients need injections should raise concerns about adverse ocular events like IOI. Investigations on the long-term effects of the drug are still ongoing, and Dr. Fung looks forward to what they will reveal about Syfovre, Izervay, and the future of GA treatment.
Well, Matt Herman, we are at the end of 30-plus shows on the road this year, and it's been great.
Matt Young, I think you're forgetting something. We're also the official media partner of the Asia-Pacific Myopia Management Symposium happening right now in Taiwan.
Oh yeah, we gotta get over there.
Whoa, not so fast, Matt Young. We got plenty of crew there for us already. And don't worry, we'll have tons more ophthalmic conference action next year, Matt. We're gonna be involved in more and more shows happening at the same time in different planetary locations, especially now that we're in optometry. Happy new show year, and from all of us here at MICE TV, we'd like to say, have a great 2024.